Welcome to Focus Radio and Television. I'm Anthony Rayo, and this is Focus Lake County's radio program brought to you by Red Apples Media. You can listen to us here on WLBE the first and third Thursday of each month at 1:30 in the afternoon. Our February edition's on stands now, and you can check that out at 140 locations around Lake County. You can also watch this and other segments from Focus TV to Focus Radio on LSTV, which is Comcast 13, Bright House 498, and Florida Cable 4. Today, we have Joe Ziler from Kevco Builders. Welcome, Joe.
Good morning.
Or afternoon, actually, but we're fine. All right, so we're discovering the Kevco difference today. You've been around for a long time, and the company's been around even longer. So give us a little overview of what Kevco is.
Kevco has been around since 1980, so this is the 36th year the company's been in business. I have owned the company, I lose track, 8 years, I believe, this year. And Kevco started out as a home building company back in the 80s and then converted over to a remodeling company in the mid-90s. And 8 years ago when I bought the company, so it was primarily a remodeling company. My background has always been in home building. So I combined their longevity that they had and the reputation they had with the remodeling side of it and started in the home building segment as well. So kind of doubled down on it, and now we have grown quite a machine of doing both.
You're taking the questions right out of my mouth. So custom home building, that's a big part of your business now.
It is a huge part of our business. It's quite a niche because the way we do custom home building is very unique from what everyone else does. You know, custom's a very overused word in the home building industry, which with most builders usually means you must start with one of our plans and we'll change it for you a little bit. What we do is if you come in with a concept or just some ideas, we'll sit you down with a designer face to face, draw the thing off of a napkin, draw it from scratch, draw it from the new thing, pictures on Pinterest, and really design the home around what the client's needs are.
So how is your culture different from other home builders in the area?
Well, you know, what we do is a very labor-intensive way of doing custom home building, but I think it serves quite a niche in home building. So, you know, with me, I've got to have a decor person. I've got to have designers. I do in-house architecture design. So I not only have the person that sits with you face to face and does the floor plans, I have the person behind the scenes that does all the structural aspects of it. I have the decor personnel. I've got, you know, construction superintendents that I don't take and put one superintendent in charge of 12 projects. I keep them over 4 or 5 projects in order to keep the customer service and the quality up. So there's a lot of little different variables we do. Increases overhead, but I think it significantly increases the end product that we give to the client. So.
Well, that's really great.
I'm not a guy in a pickup truck. It's hard to compete. And I have a pickup truck, but there's quite a few guys around that are, you know, that they, you know, I get shopped against, and they have 2 or 3 employees. I have 30 employees.
Yeah, and it's harder for them to keep up with you.
That's correct. Yeah. So, you know, I think I buy a little better than they probably do, but my overhead's a little bit more because I have more employees. I offer health benefits. I offer 401k. I do a lot of things that small business owners can't afford to do, and I insist on it because that's just the way I'm wired. I've always felt that.
Well, and you were a small business at one time too.
That's correct.
Yeah, so you've grown.
No, I still think I am, but yes.
Yeah, well, in comparison to maybe what you'll be one day.
Yeah, so.
You know. So we often hear and we read, even in our magazine this month, we're talking about Discover the Kevco Difference. Another one of your slogans has been Central Florida's most custom awarded. Go ahead and say it.
We're the most award-winning custom builder and remodeler in Central Florida.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. I honestly, I've lost track of how many years, 13 and maybe 14 this year on the remodel side that we won the Remodeler Showcase Award through the Parade of Homes. And every year with the Parade of Homes, since I started the home building segment 5 years ago, we've really taken off and won almost every price category we've ever put a house in. So, I mean, it's people see our houses, even the judges see our houses, and what we do that's a little bit different really, it makes a difference. It really does.
Well, I'm having deja vu. We had this conversation last year at the same time, and now you've added the open house weekend.
That's correct.
So what is the open house weekend? Obviously, you can find it in Focus. There's a map. You can find it in a bunch of other magazines throughout the county. What is the open house weekend, and how does that go hand in hand with Parade of Homes?
In addition to the Parade of Homes that has our Hunter Oaks community and a furnished model in it, as well as a custom home in Lakewood Ranch that's over the $600,000 price point, we're having the Kevco open house weekend for open to the public of homes that we either have under construction or are nearing completion. There's 5 other homes that we're going to show to the public during that Saturday and Sunday, the first weekend of the open house. You can go to the homes and really see that we're not a production builder. Each one of these homes is unique in its own way. You know, you have a traditional Cape Cod over here in Silver Lake, to one of our entry-level homes that's $180,000 up in Umatilla, to a custom home that we have on the golf course up in Lady Lake. So I mean, there's just a varying of different things, all customer, client-driven ideas that came to us. The golf course one, for instance, has a coffee room built up on the back of the house where he wants to sit up in the mornings and sip coffee and look out at the golf course, built around that client's lifestyle. The one over here in Silver Lake's got a beautiful view of Silver Lake out the front of it. It's the old homestead property for the entire Silver Lake area. There's a lot of heritage actually in the property alone that the people bought. It's pretty neat. So.
Well, and obviously for more information, we can visit kevcobuilders.com.
Correct.
Call you at what number?
Area code 352-742-3398.
Yeah, I know you have a lot of numbers for different...
Or visit our office at 2104 South Bay Street in Eustis. We have a design studio there as well as our corporate office.
Yeah. Orlando Business Journal, Inc. magazine. You've been in both of those. Orlando Business Journal, 3 or 4 years running, in the top 50 fastest growing companies in Central Florida. I know the first year we were tied for 2nd or 3rd. Only the number 1 company that year was a couple of tech guys from USF that were 21 years old. They were the fastest growing. It was You Build It or You Fix It or something like that. They fixed laptops and stuff. I mean, it was amazing. But yeah, we've been very fortunate. That's based on nothing more than you submit your financials every year, and it's based on year-over-year growth as a percentage. Yeah, so it's a study, a case study.
Absolutely, that they do. It's independent, it's third party, and verified.
Yeah.
Inc. magazine, same thing. I get Inc. magazine occasionally. I picked it up. I was on an airplane. I saw it. I thought, hey, I'll submit our financials, see where this is, and we ended up ranked. We were in the top percentiles in the small business home building side of construction. And then I think in the top 5,000 nationwide, we were like, 1,700 or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's
it's
very good.
It really was. I mean,
nice pat on the
to have a
back.
niche right here in Lake County and be nationally recognized.
Yeah.
Pretty neat. So.
Now that new slogan, last question before our break. The new slogan, Discover the Kevco Difference. See it everywhere now. In the magazine, obviously, with the map on the other side. But there's new billboards over too. What about those? What are some examples of the Kevco difference?
We do things in our homes standard that all of the other builders charge as upgrades. I have a philosophy. Regardless of the size of the home, people should be proud of it, and it should be somewhat really customized. We do granite countertops. I do 5 1/4 baseboards. I do crown molding accents. I do rounded corners on the drywall. And those are just some of the things that we do in the house, standard. And really the philosophy is if 95% of the people come in and those are the things they typically pick as upgrades, they ought to be standard features. You shouldn't nickel and dime them. So we've put them into the base price of the house.
Yeah, you've got energy smart homes. You've got all that.
Yes.
And we'll go into detail after the break a little bit about what an energy smart home is, also the standard features
Okay.
that you have as upgrades. to people, to customers, and how you include them when other companies can't do that. And also how all those things translate to better quality, better service for your customers. But yeah, we'll be back in a moment, and then we'll talk some more with Joe Ziler from Kevco Builders. Welcome back to Focus Radio and Television. You're watching us on LSTV. Back to the program. We're here with Kevco Builders Joe Ziler, and we're helping him and us discover the Kevco difference. We're talking about Open House Weekend, the Parade of Homes coming up in a few weeks. What are those dates again?
It's the last weekend in February and the first weekend in March. So it's Saturday the 27th and 28th, and then it's March, it looks like here, the 5th and 6th. You got a good memory. Yeah.
Takes a second,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
and then it's 10 to 5 on the 27th.
Mm-hmm.
The 28th is noon to 5.
That's correct. And the same the following weekend.
Same the following week. And there's certain homes that are only found.
The parade homes are open both weekends. The Kevco open house is just the first weekend.
All right, and we'll be able to see some of these people and
That's
get to meet
correct.
them if we go on that. Okay, so back to the Energy Smart homes. What's a differentiator for Kevco Builders, their homes, with an Energy Smart home as opposed to somebody else?
We are an Energy Smart builder here locally. There's a company out of Gainesville that has pretty unique architectural design. So he came up with a patent of putting the ductwork in the house in the conditioned area. So all of your soffits and things like that. And if you go on our website, I actually have a video that demonstrates the whole thing. Where the soffit lines in the house, where your tray ceilings and things are created, all of your ductwork stays down in your conditioned space, so it never goes in your attic, and then your attic is heavily insulated. So you're not pumping, 80-degree air, 75-degree air through a 100-degree attic, 110-degree attic back into a 75-degree space. So it keeps your ductwork at a constant temperature all the time. Yeah. And the energy efficiency of it is amazing on the heating and cooling.
Well, it's like a couple of your old ads. If people have seen those, you were standing in front of that, the temperature, and
right.
They can see.
And still to this day, on the Energy Smart homes, we guarantee your power bill.
Yes. For how long? 12 months?
For 12 months. For the first 12 months, there's a factor that the engineer gives us to use based on the size of the home.
Yep.
And we use that factor, and if it exceeds that factor, we reimburse you for the difference.
Yeah. I'd like somebody to do that for me.
Absolutely.
And energy costs just keep going up, so I mean, it's not...
Well,
maybe one day you can build a new home for me,
Yes.
and hey.
Yeah, I mean,
great.
it's a great concept.
Yeah.
So.
What are just some examples of the upgrades that you offer that nobody
Like
else
I mentioned,
does?
you've got the granite countertops that we do as standard. I do 5 1/4 base versus the 3 1/2 inch base in all the main areas of the house. I do 5 1/4 crown molding in all the main areas of the house. I do rounded corners on all of the drywall, which gives a nice feature on the drywall. Typically that's an upgrade. I do tile in all of the kitchens, bathrooms, where some of the production builders still doing vinyl flooring, which is just amazing to me in 2016. Ceiling heights, I've moved all the ceiling heights up, so you have a lot of vaulted ceilings or 10-foot ceilings in most of the house. And trying to think of some of the other little features. All of the stone accents that I do on the exterior, that's kind of been our signature. So the curb appeal is there as well. All of the garage doors have that carriage house look with the wrought iron handles and hardware on it. And those are all standard on every one of our houses. It doesn't matter if it's a $150,000 house or a $600,000 house. Yeah. Those are standard features. So
that's great.
Yeah,
I mean, that really is the best you can get here in Central Florida.
It is. Yeah. And time again, that's why we win when we enter our homes into the Parade of Homes.
Yeah, and you'll see that on the open house
Correct.
weekend. You'll see the Kevco difference
every one of the homes
yourself.
that you go see, you'll see every one of those signature items in the home.
You're going to discover it
That's
on
correct.
that journey.
Yes.
The 7 homes.
That's correct.
Yep. So you started building in Hunter Oaks outside of Umatilla. What's the significance of that?
It's only an 18-lot subdivision, so it's small, it's quaint, sits between 2 orange groves. I'm extremely conservative. I've never, other than some lots that I bought, never ventured into buying a finished subdivision. A builder that was retiring pitched it to me. And I have to tell you, we just signed yesterday our third contract in there, and our model is just completed. So here we are. The parade hasn't even started. We've already sold 3 homes. We sold one of the spec homes that we built in there, and 2 to-be-built homes that are going to be coming up. So I'm really pleased with the activity in there in the first 120 days since I purchased the place. I mean, it's just been fantastic for us.
And you cover everything, the gamut of custom home price points.
I do. Yes.
They could be less than $200,000 even.
That's correct. In Hunter Oaks, the price point starts at $185,000 with all the standard features that I mentioned. At $185,000, it even has a side entry garage, which gives it nice curb appeal. The front door is an 8-foot front door, gives you a nice grand entrance in the front. The foyers in all of those houses are 10-foot tall, so it gives it's really a nice look. The lots are there's a lot of green space in the community, so the lots in there are 1/4 acre to 1/3 of an acre lots. There's a lot of space between the homes, so you're not in a subdivision where the houses are 10 feet apart. It's really a nice community. And then I've got a home under construction right now in Lochleven in Mount Dora that's a $750,000 home. So
you kind of go from one extreme to the other.
We do, yeah. And the sweet spot in the market really is about the $350,000, $400,000 on your lot business. But you get the outliers each way. Yeah. And having this community gives us really a good diversification.
So looking into the crystal ball of the future, if you were in the Wizard of Oz or something, what is the custom home market? We look at Lake County, the year ahead. How about you? How do you fit into that picture?
Well, it's interesting. November, December, and January. So November and December of 2015, January of 2016 are the 3 busiest months I've seen since the market crashed, which is really encouraging because typically an election year is usually a volatile year in the home building economy, and that has not been the case at all as it starts off. So I think 2016, 2017 are predictors of, they're really, even the national builders are really hedging their bets on 2016, 2017 really being amazing recovery years for the home building industry.
Well, it's kind of like that every year, but especially
I'm really seeing it this year. Yes,
that's awesome.
Yes,
no concrete issues in China this year?
No, Lord, no. They're not yet.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Gas is down.
Yeah, gas is down.
Yeah. So when you have remodels, renovations, do you see people staying in their homes longer and investing into upgrades and customized remodels?
Retirees, primarily retirees. That's really our big niche in the remodel market. We do a little over $2 million a year in remodels, which is pretty big. But a lot of those are small additions. People want a little bit more space, or the age of the homes around here. So it's the kitchens and bath remodels. So the average price of our remodels are $25,000 to $38,000, depending on the size, and then we do additions. Some of the additions are, $150,000, depending on what people get into. But the gentleman I bought the company from actually handles all of my remodel sales now. Him and my operations manager. Yes.
So he's still he's got his hand in the pot.
He had retired and was gone, and I always kept in touch with him, asked him what his happy job would be, and he said, I just love selling remodels. So
well, that's
I hired
probably
him a year ago selling remodels. So
you're going to keep your customers happy because they know,
it's a great story. Yeah,
my son.
He goes out and tells everybody, I sold the company a few years ago and always stayed in contact with him, and now here I am selling remodels for him. So
that's
pretty neat.
really awesome.
Yeah.
The trends in the remodel business, what are your common requests?
Updating kitchens and baths, removing tubs and garden tubs, and making bigger walk-in showers instead of a step-in tub, because as people get older, they want the safety of a walk-in shower or even perhaps a roll-in shower. Larger, an extra room, whether it be a craft room or a den. Homes built even 10, 12 years ago, they're just kind of missing that den. A lot of them had formal dining rooms or living rooms, but the people will convert those now into a den or a craft room in their home as they get older.
Yep.
So, and garages. There's no basements in Florida, so.
Who does your garage door openers?
So we end up with just a ton of additional exterior garages. And a lot of people want to add a couple of garages. Everybody has so much stuff.
Yeah.
So, and nowhere to put it. I mean, if you drive around some of these communities, the garage door's up, it's full, and people park in the driveway. So.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing every time.
It is.
Human nature.
Yep.
So as we're discovering the Kevco difference, we've got the open house weekend we discussed. The dates, of course, the 27th, 28th of this month, February, from 10 a.m. to 5 on the 27th, and 12 noon to 5 on the 28th. And same thing for the weekend of March 5th and 6th?
March 5th and 6th is just the 2 parade homes. The open house is the first weekend only.
There you go.
Yes.
And KevcoBuilders.com, especially the Ad in Focus magazine, we've got a map so you can travel around, you can go everywhere that you need, and you can get stamped. There's a raffle, I understand, enter to win. You know. What about the last thing, one of the last things I want to ask you. You had a strong showing, well, last year, obviously. What about this year? What are you going to be showing?
I'm entering in my Hunter Oaks community. I've got my furnished model will be in there. Last year I put 5 houses in. This year I took a little bit different approach. So this year I'm showing my smaller product, and then I'm showing my high-end custom product, the 2 products.
Yeah.
And then obviously, we do anything in between, and that's the purpose of the open house weekend, is to show all the things in between that we do. So so I have an array of anywhere from 180 to 250 to 350 to 4 1/4 to 650 in the open house weekend.
And a good memory.
That's right. Yeah.
So enter to win. It's a $500 prepaid cash card.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You come around, you visit our open house weekends. We're going to stamp your card, and then on Monday morning at our Monday morning staff meeting, we're going to do a drawing and call the winners.
Cool. So quick turnaround, not 6 to 8 weeks.
Now must be present to win.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have the 30-second, 500-word disclaimer at the end that you rattle off.
Yeah, this is pretty big. We tried to let people read it and understand what it is. Yeah. Anything else you'd like to add before we end?
No, look forward to seeing the public, on the Parade of Homes weekend. It's amazing. We have a following. So every year we see a lot of the same people. Years ago, about 6 or 7 years ago during the parade, I had nothing but a bathroom in it because the economy was so bad, and sold a $500,000 remodel off of it. So that's the dynamics of the Parade of Homes. That's how important the Parade of Homes is to us. It gives us an opportunity to showcase us, show us what we do. You meet me, you meet our employees, and you see what we do. You see the finished product. In a lot of the cases, you're going to meet our clients.
Yep. Well, I hope it goes well.
I'm
sure it will.
Absolutely.
I mean, you won all these awards last year. You'll win more this year on some of the other homes that we don't see. You've had extra ones because of the open house weekend. And look again at the Ad in Focus magazine because you'll understand it. Kevco difference, discover it. Let's remind people that we've got the entry form in there for the raffle. Of course, look at that. It's also in Lake and Sumter Style magazine.
Correct, and it's going to be available at each one of the homes as well.
Yeah. Look at those billboards. We see them all over. We changed them.
All the new ones just came out
new pictures
last week. That's correct.
Yep. And check out KevcoBuilders.com because that's important.
Absolutely, and take a look at some of the design videos and different services that we offer on there free of charge.
Yep. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
It was great, and of course, there's other things we can talk about. We're running out of time, but make sure Focus Magazine, the 6 Hands article, you can watch some of it on LSTV this month. And you could also look at the last Focus TV, which has some of the authors from it. That's going to be really nice, and then you can go back and review on FocusLakeCounty.com. Well, thank you for joining us. Follow us on FocusLakeCounty.com. Look at us on YouTube. Subscribe to us everywhere. Facebook, whatever you got, do it. Because you want to keep up with the information in the community. We're a catalyst for conversation. That's what we do, and we bring it to you. I'm Anthony Rayo. Thanks for listening to Focus Radio, and don't forget to keep us in your focus.